Hey folks, my name's Rene Enriquez, and you are watching Uncensored.
This is Rene Enriquez. Nickname Bootser. Blackhand of the Mexican Mafia. Prison gang politics.
So today we're going to talk about the kitty, right? We've done a number of calls on Eulalio Martinez, Michael Sperling, Lisa Barboa, a bunch of different players in this whole investigation and indictment that were functioning at collecting monies for the kitty, right? So let me give you a breakdown of what the kitty actually originated as, right? I think I told a story in the past about myself, Mariano Martinez, Chuy from Vianney, and David Galbadon, Spider from Cantaranas. When we first got made, we started collecting commissary items for camaradas who were in the shoe. We were in shoe two in one building, and for anybody coming in from the general population, we had bags of tobacco or soups and hygiene items. We collected this stuff to have a surplus for individuals coming in, right? So we always had something to give them because when you go to the shoe or ad seg, you're going with nothing. You're getting in that cell. You have a blanket, a sheet, a roll of toilet paper, a state toothbrush, and some tooth powder and half a bar of soap. That's what you got when you went to the shoe, right? And that's all you got. Whatever else you acquire on your own because that's all the state's giving you. So the kitty was meant for that. The carnales, on the other hand, that were paroled would do pools of money, which was a kitty for carnales who needed stuff when they paroled. That was the original intent, right? But in a contemporary sense, the kitty that you know today in Los Angeles County Jail and the Los Angeles County men's facilities, right? The county jail facilities, that was perfected by Mike Torres Mosca from San Fernando. As we all know, Mosca was eliminated in large part behind controlling this territory, right? It's a hotbed of controversy. There's a lot of politics involved in controlling the county jail, but he perfected a system by which everybody in the county jail going to commissary would kick in a specific portion of that commissary. Like for every $10, you'd have to pay $1, right? And that applied to everybody, every Hispanic in there, residents, camaradas, Southsiders, Sureños. I'm not sure if Paisas kicked in, but pretty sure they did as well. But I'm not certain on that, right? So let's just say that people within the infrastructure did. Uh, Mike Torres was the individual responsible for creating this system. Like I was in the county jail multiple times. I was there for a couple of years fighting my 187s, and I never thought of the idea of making that type of money because Lalo at one point generated about $300,000 in 1 year. So the system works like this, right? It works by these massive collections of commissary are sold off, right? So every block, every module within the county jail has a representative. So you'll see that depicted in this graphic here, how the jails are broken down and the control that's given to Sureños. These Sureños collect these commissary items and put them up for sale, right? You're allowed to purchase commissary online, and they approach individuals who are going to have their family send them a $55 package. But the representatives, the tier reps, the piseros, the bloqueros, all these guys take this commissary and tell them, look, if your family's going to send you a $30 online package, which is delivered at a later date within the county jail commissary distribution system, those representatives say, we'll give you $55 worth of commissary for that $30, but we want the $30 sent here in a money order. In fact, in the Lisa Barboa case, there was $7,000 in money orders confiscated from her mobile home, and another $3,000 approximately in money orders found in her purse. That's serious money that's coming in every month, right? Every month, huge amounts of money are coming in from the kitty. So it's a revenue generating endeavor, right? And it's large sums of money. It's not small sums of money. For one Mexican mafia member um, to generate $300,000 just on candy bars and chips and soups and soap, that's all profit. To him, there's no overhead. All he's doing is taxing the commissary there um, in the county jail and having it sold off to individuals who are going to spend the money anyways. So, on the one hand, the sureños, the camaradas, the residents, they're being extorted. This is extortion. You have to pay. There's no equivocation about that. There is no, hey, I am not. I can only got $10 today, and I'm not going to pay this month because I only have a little bit of money. You have to pay, and you're going to pay. If not, you're going to get tuned up, and that's just the way it is. So for all those that had doubt about this, that had doubt about what the kitty was and what was the objective of it, this is what the objective was. It was to enrich one specific member, that was Lalo Martinez, who controlled the county jail at the time. But again, he wasn't the brain behind this. Mike Torres was the brain behind this and crafted this specific system into existence, which shows innovation on his part. I mean, you really think about it. About one guy sitting back and saying, you know what, I can make $250,000 in 1 year doing this, and did it, and did it. So there are fits and spurts of sophistication within the organization uh, that are amazing. Like this whole system is amazing. It amazes me, right? That Mosca and then Lalo uh, wrested control of the county jail and controlled it with an iron fist. There was an instance where uh, Lalo Martinez actually lost control of that county jail to Daryl Baca. And there are multiple calls that we've played. Danger Ledesma, other individuals, Trinidad Gonzalez, that worked for Lalo Martinez and showed that they were actually functioning at a high degree of efficiency, right? So Lalo Martinez loses control to Daryl Baca, right? He loses control of all the county jail system to Daryl Baca. And I don't know how that took place. I don't know what the reasoning was of Daryl Baca that he can come in and take control of the county jail from an existing and sitting Mexican Mafia member. And during that process, I believe that one of Daryl Baca's street crew uh, was incarcerated and thought he could take over for him. And the individual who did was Raymond Puppet Cuevas. He takes over the facility for shot caller. And we just ran a call on Puppet Cuevas and his wife Sandra Cuevas where they're debriefing. They're cooperating at this point in time. They're cooperating. But before that, before the cooperation, Puppet Cuevas, working for Daryl Baca, helps take the county jail away from Lalo Martinez. Again, that internal war, that civil war in the county jail where carnales are pitting camaradas against each other. And this actually happened. Uh, but on 8/18/09, Cuevas is assaulted by Lalo's people. So Cuevas is replaced by by Felix Rocco Vega, who's loyal to Lalo Martinez. They move Cuevas out the way. He gets hit, and I believe this is the point where he starts cooperating. And then on 11/27/09, Vega is hit by Danny Nunez, Victor Guillen, both individuals loyal to Daryl Baca. So there's this back and forth hitting of people, right? These people, they're attempting to eliminate them. Uh, Mesa, led by Shy Boy Perez, takes control for Baca. So there's these mesas that are being created. A mesa for, and again, a mesa is an ad hoc commission comprised of sureños who represent a specific Mexican Mafia member. Daryl Baca, I believe his wife, Phoebe Baca, has these individuals establish a mesa on behalf of Daryl Baca. Daryl Baca is in Pelican Bay Shoe, 1,000 miles away, and has very little idea of what's going on. I dare say that he had no idea that it was going on to this level. And then there's the NCF turmoil. On January 2nd, 2010, David Hernandez, Geraldo Martinez, and Robert Divine conspire to eliminate Shy Boy Perez because of his affiliation with Daryl Baca. Again, it falls into this territorial control where, I mean, a lot of camaradas fell by the wayside, right? This is not supposed to be within the organization, this infighting. Like, get his guys because they're with him, or get these guys because they represent a carnal. That is never supposed to happen. But it did happen. The county jail is a hotbed of political activity, right? And I've seen no worse place where camaradas jump at the chance to wash somebody up. This is like horrible behavior for camaradas because we never did that as camaradas in my day. Camaradas were camaradas, and we worked for the organization, right? We didn't work for any one specific carnal, and that was the mentality we had. But this isn't the mentality here. And there are several kites that talk about this that were intercepted by OSS and OSJ, Operation Safe Jails and Operation Safe Streets, which are two bureaus within the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department that monitor jail behavior, right? Several kites are recovered, substantiating the conspiracy to murder Shy Boy. One kite recovered at North Kern State Prison is very detailed and is linked to Robert Divine, one of the individuals who was a defendant in this case with Lalo Martinez, right? Obviously, I cooperated in this case and was doing most of the communications. I was reading the kites, I was listening to the calls, I was giving my expert opinion to, again, Detective Francis Hardiman. Francis Hardiman was one of the most vigilant and intelligent investigators that I knew. And he broke it down to a science, understanding the meaning of kites and the communications that occurred and the manners in which Los Angeles County Jail was controlled, who the key players were and who the minor players were. I mean, there was such a high rate of attrition in that county jail. One day, one guy would be in one module, he'd be a llavero there, or a mesero, or a tier rep, or a bloquero, and the next week he's transferred out to Wayside or NCCF or one of the other facilities, right? So that created a void, but they always had second tiers and third tiers of leadership pre-established so that there was no void and there was continuity in control of the organization. So the kitty, when we mention it, when you hear it mentioned in calls, like you heard it in the Barboa interview and you heard it in the recent Mike Sperling interview, is not a small thing. It's not just some guys pressuring guys for commissary. There's a big objective behind the kitty. And with that, you understand that the objective is enriching one specific member. Now, during this process, Lalo Martinez assaulted a nephew of a Mexican Mafia member, Daryl Baca. And I firmly believe, I know Daryl Baca, right? Daryl Baca is a dignified man. He's one of the individuals who are squeaky clean in politics. I admired him. He was a good friend of mine. And I knew he wouldn't let that go. The affront to Daryl Baca by assaulting his family member was unforgivable to him. And I dare say that Lalo Martinez was going to face music when he went back up to the Bay. He was not going to avoid that. And nobody, I don't care who the politicians were, would have stopped Daryl Baca from seeking out vengeance for that slight. So Lalo was effectively through. I know Daryl Baca well enough to say with complete certitude that Daryl Baca would not have forgiven that. Now, there are only a couple of nephews that were really related to Daryl Baca, and everybody runs around saying they're the nephew or the niece of, like you heard the Sandra Cuevas recording where she says, my uncle, I had to go visit my uncle. That's not his niece. You know, Sandra Cuevas was not related to Daryl Baca by any means, not even by marriage. And but there was one nephew of Daryl Baca's in the county jail, and he was slapped by an associate at the order of Lalo Martinez. Lalo Martinez later tried to blame it on Cisco Gonzalez and Perico Rocha. But in a conversation that we played previously with a well known informant, Lalo Martinez acknowledges having Daryl Baca's nephew assaulted. So it is my firm belief that Lalo was finished. It was just a matter of time. Number one, the dope got to him, the money got to him, and Lalo was a hope to die doping. No other way to say it, you know? Some speculation as to whether it was a hot shot or not. I just know that the camaradas there weren't too quick to call man down when he fell to the floor and became incapacitated, right? Heard that from a variety of different sources. Um, and he was going to face the music. So maybe that was his way of going out. Or I think it was entirely accidental. I don't think he intentionally overdosed himself. I don't believe that at all. But it was the best end for him because he was gonna meet a violent end at some point. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what the kitty was and what the dynamics were behind it. I mean, I even recall playing a call between Danny Boy from Hazard and Joker from Hazard, where Joker wants a part of the county jail, and Danny Boy says, "I want to stay out of it. I don't want my name involved in it. It's a hotbed of political chaos," and he's warning Joker about controlling the county jail because many cardenales have fallen behind this county jail. Many people have been caught up in politics by trying to run the county jail. Guate would be one of them. He attempted to run the county jail. He thought he was the main boss hog there. This is what caused his stabbing by Henry Carlos. He wanted people to spy on other cardenales for him. He wanted cardenales to betray each other. He wanted to run the county jail. And he believed that Joe Morgan gave him the authority to be the sole voice in the county jail, which Joe Morgan never possessed the power to do. That's just not true. Joe Morgan couldn't have done that. Because it would have meant that Joe Morgan placed himself above all members and gave one cardinal the authority to run the county jail. But Guate had that idea that he was the guy. That's the first instance that I saw in the county jail where it was a hotbed of political activity, where people were vying for control of it. The financial aspect of it wasn't even in existence at the time. I mean, there was narcotics trafficking. That was always a thing in the county jail. Illegal substances were always distributed, and there was money to be made. The kitty scam had not been developed yet, but early on, people were getting in trouble in the county jail. And you see Danny Boy Pena, excuse me, and Joker Gonzalez talking about sharing a location within the county jail that belonged to Joker. Danny Boy warned him, like, it's not really worth it. There's too much chaos. Then Daryl Baca jumps into it at some point in the future. Lalo Martinez does, Fox does, and all of them have faced controversy behind it. Because there's a lot of money to me. There's a lot of greed. There's a lot of jealousy. If there's no profit sharing, then nobody's happy, right? And even if you are profit sharing, nobody's happy. You can't satisfy all the people all the time, and that's the county jail, right? But that's the kitty scam, folks. That's it. It is a lot to take in, and when you really break it down, we're going to show you some graphics here and some kites, pictures of participants in the conspiracies, some of the prosecutions, and I just wanted to give you a well-rounded understanding of what the kitty was, right? The kitty was originally intended to take care of people who didn't have anything, and ultimately became an extortion scheme to enrich the member controlling the county jail. There you have it, folks. Kitty scam broken down for you. 1, 2, 3. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the explanation. As always, have a safe day. Peace out. Stay safe.
This is Rene Enriquez. Nickname Boots.